What's the craziest thing an ex said to try and win you back? When I first tried to break up with her, she just kept saying no until I gave in. She said no for more than 10 minutes. The second time I tried to break up with her, she pulled the same trick, but this time, ready for it, I beat her at her own game and said yes in response. When I got bored of this back and forth, I said, well, it's a yes, so I'm sorry. Goodbye. She then messaged my brother and sister-in-law, whom she had never met, telling them that I needed to call her back right away because she was unstable and didn't know what she was capable of. When my brother told me that I told him to ignore her, she continued to message them saying everything from she was pregnant to she deserves better, she deserves me. After 24 hours of relentlessly contacting my family, a family of 7 total, I turned my phone back on and saw I had 150 texts and 19 voicemails from her. As an aside, this is where I learned an iMessage can only be so long. When it exceeds the maximum character count, you have to press on the message and it is opened up on the Notes app. When I called her back, she immediately started yelling at me saying things like, how dare I, who do you think you are, she deserves better. I told her I would hang up and block her everywhere I could if she didn't stop yelling at me. I called to have a conversation about why I wanted to break up with her so she could get some closure. She calmed down and in the coolest tone I've ever heard her speak, she told me that she would tell her dad that I was physically and verbally abusive to her if I didn't get back together with her. Her dad was not a particularly big or scary guy, but he works with my dad where I also work, and it would have been a career ender for me if they had believed her. I decided to roll the dice and tell her that her dad knows she has mental issues and there is no way he would believe her. I knew her dad before I knew her, so I was 25% confident he would take my side. She did have mental issues. For whatever reason, she believed me and went back to crying and yelling at me. I said goodbye, please don't contact me again. After 6 more months of repeated attempts to contact me, I found out she got engaged to some poor guy. I don't know how, who, why, or when it happened, but I was happy it was finally over for me. Unfortunately, I was wrong. She will still follow and unfollow my girlfriend and her dog's Instagram account, as well as like and unlike 2+ year-old pictures on their accounts. She is now married, as of a few months ago, and is still pulling this shit every once in a while. If she wasn't so messed up, or if I didn't respect her dad so much, I would have contacted the guy she married and told him. But at the end of the day, it's just not worth it. I may have handled it poorly, but she was a complete nightmare to date. She had crazy mood swings, would yell at me in front of my family and friends, was incredibly bossy, and we had nothing in common. Only a crazy person would think the relationship was going somewhere.